There they go into the back. The blue line on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider Seals to Sam comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Hello and welcome to Talking Trots for yet another week here on Tab Radio. And we've got the Lord Mayor's Cup, our headline act tomorrow night at headquarters. And again, I'm joined by Glen Moore. How are you, Glen?
Yeah, very good, Hayden, and good evening to everybody listening at home. Yeah, look, one of the best meetings we've seen for a while, I think. A lot of depth in the program and some very intriguing races. Lord Mayor's Cup has brought together a fantastic field, hasn't it? And we've got a very special guest to discuss that race with us tonight.
Well, we've charted some previously unforeseen waters here. We've got a double guest. We've got to catch up with Justin Prentice first, and we'll waste no time. Get straight to Justin. And last week we had the return of one of his budding stars in Rolling Fire.
Level with Ideal Tomato out of the 1-1 Flying Rumour, coming one off, one Smart Fella. Then Cordero and Illawong Mustang coming through on the inside. Little Happy Fella. Rolling Fire had hit the lead into the straight. Flying Rumour giving chase. Ideal Tomato, one Smart Fella. Rolling Fire in front. Flying Rumour won't get there. Favourite Salutes. Rolling Fire from Flying Rumour. Ideal
Had to do it the hard way. Rolling Fire, but equal to the challenge. How are you, Justin?
Yeah, good, thanks, guys.
Yeah, look, Justin, tremendous performance first up by Rolling Fire. Just touching on it, it's come back in a big way. Got very keen at running too. So it was a very, very good performance to hold off the challenges late. You must have been really happy about that run.
Yeah, I was wrapped with his run. He, Em said that a couple of times he's been in the breeze. He's just sort of coming down with a lap to go. He sort of just gets charging and wants to get the job done. But I thought he'd run a good race. His work's been good. He looked fantastic. And, I was a little bit concerned when they went the 27 down the back that, maybe it might leave him a little bit wanting with that horse on his back that was in good form. But
Flying Rumour, yep.
Peel off another 27 was a good run.
Definitely. And the big news this week, Never Ending has been picked up in the slot for the Eureka, the world's biggest harness racing race, stake money-wise. Robert Watson picked up the slot, so as Soho Standard Breds. So that's a tremendous coup for WA and a very exciting for the connections of Never Ending.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, massive thrill. Something that, sort of talking to Glen the other day about it, sort of saying, you've got to actually think about it. I think, we've got the opportunity to have a horse in the world's richest harness race. It's pretty amazing and, potentially once in a lifetime. So you just got to enjoy it and really looking forward to it. And great to be, involved with Rob Watson, obviously a WA person, and go over there and take on the Eastern Status.
How far away is Never Ending in terms of his first up run?
He'll probably have a trial. In about 3 to 4 weeks. He sort of doesn't have anything sort of that I need to sort of rush in for. Sort of just taking our time with him, and he's pretty forward already. He'll just have a decent trial, and then he'll be back at the races in March. Should be.
The band's gradually getting back together. You've also got Tricky Mickey, Mighty Ronaldo, fresh tomorrow night, and also Jaws of Lincoln in that race. Firstly, Tricky Mickey, of course, last seen when victorious in the Golden Nugget. How's he tracking up?
Yeah, his work's been good. He didn't have a long time off, so he shouldn't have lost a lot of fitness or anything like that. Just gave him a freshen up. He didn't necessarily need one, but we thought he deserved one. Super win in the Nugget, and took advantage of a decent draw for a change for him, and been on the rail and we've got another good draw tomorrow night, so we're trying to do the same thing.
Try and lead all the way, Justin. Is that the first intention?
Yeah, I think he's got the speed to hold up, and the way he went in the nugget, and sort of like, he's a really good front runner and good on the rail. I think he can run the times to be super competitive in front in that race.
Yeah, when you look at the setup of this race, Jaws of Lincoln obviously racing out of his skin. Another big run last week, just got out of his ground to touch, made it difficult for him to pick up Hotly Pursued. But a magnificent run there, and of course the Knights of Thunder had to be seen to be believed, but you can't break the clock sometimes. Temptation here, look, he's got great gate speed. I guess there's a temptation to have a look out of the gate as well. If he's feeling good out of the gate, I guess there's a temptation maybe to get past Ideal Agent early.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Junior will want to do here. He's been pretty tricky every start with him. We kind of like, Junior's not too sure what he wants to do, and apart from the Knights of Thunder, which I was pretty keen on sort of dropping him in, I haven't been too sure what to do with him either, to be honest. He hasn't had a lot of luck with barrier draws yet, so I'll just sort of leave that in Junior's hands, sort of see what he thinks on the gate, what he wants to do early. He's pretty versatile, so he doesn't have to go forward. If he wants to drop him in and, hope the speed's on early, then I think he'd be in with a shot as well.
Yeah, well, he's had a 6, 2 7s and an 8, Jaws of Lincoln, and another horse that hadn't really had the rub of the green in terms of barriers toward the end of last campaign was Mighty Ronaldo. What's the thought with him?
Yeah, he was pretty unlucky at the end of last prep with Jaws. I thought he was going fantastic. I thought he was racing super as well. He just was getting bad draws, and the way he's got to be driven, he wasn't getting a lot of luck at all the way the races were run. So he's come back. He looks fantastic. Happy with where he's at. A little bit of a tricky draw, but I guess it doesn't sort of change things too much with him, what we do early. And, I guess he just relies on some speed in the race.
Justin, just touch on a couple of others, maybe on the way back. Manhattan Moon, Artful Major, Rolling 5 we saw last week. Top of the head, Artful Major and Manhattan Moon. How far away are they?
Both of them sort of just started hobble work, so they'll probably be about 6 weeks away from being back to the races. Both of them had a decent break. I think both of them should come back nice 3-year-olds. But obviously Artful Major didn't get in any of the big ones, but he ran some good races from the breeze at the end of last campaign, and I've always sort of had an opinion of the horse, so hopefully he can come back and sort of go to that next level and potentially, push towards being a Derby horse. And Manhattan Moon's always been a very hard horse to train, but he's always had a hell of a lot of ability too. So hopefully, he's on his best behaviour. I think he'd be competitive in a lot of races.
Being a level 11, just go back to Jaws of Lincoln for a minute, a level 11 horse. Clearly his target would be, I presume, the slot race, if he can get a slot, if he can win the races in between now and then. Pinjarra Cup, Bunbury Cup, they become golden tickets. Would that be your way in, do you think, with Jaws of Lincoln to win one of those?
Yeah, it's what we've penciled in so far, Glen. Obviously, he's not, a high-marked horse, but I can only go on what he shows me at home. I think he's up to that class, and hopefully, his first few runs have suggested that he is. So, we're just hoping that, he keeps performing like he is. We get some nice draws, and I think he can pick off one of those good races.
That's very good. And just touching on the 2-year-olds, have you got anything coming up in the Sales Classic heats next Tuesday?
Just got one filly in, Winter Wonder. She won a trial at Pinjarra last week. She's a nice little filly, does everything well. had a colt. He didn't quite come up, so he's going to go to the paddock. And yeah, we've just got the filly Winter Wonder for the Sales Classic this year.
Very good. And you're on the way to New Zealand. Have a look at the yearling sales over there. Have you got your eye on a few over there? A couple over there?
Yeah, obviously it's pretty enticing book, the New Zealand book, so it's more sort of trying to find the ones that you don't want to look at than the ones you do. But yeah, having to stop over at Sydney tonight, fly out tomorrow morning, so I haven't been for 5 years. I worked out for that. It's been a long time, so I'm looking forward to getting back and hopefully we can pick up some nice horses.
Very good indeed.
All right, thanks so much, Justin. Best of luck tomorrow night.
Not a problem. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
That's Justin Prentice previewing his runners tomorrow night, and he's going over to New Zealand to look at some yearlings. However, locally, on February 25, we've got the APG Yearling Tour, and the first stop is Carnup Racing in Serpentine. Matt Young will be hosting that. Then they go to Copper Lodge, which is also on Carnup Road in Hopeland. Sorry. It's on Carnup Road in Hopeland. They're going to Carnup Racing first on Gull Road in Serpentine. And then they go to KTC Bloodstock for the final stop at 4 o'clock. So it's an all-day thing. If you do want to go, they have food and drink at the KTC one. So RSVP by contacting Cody Charles. You can get in contact with Cody in any way, or 0413 669 474. And that's on River Road in Hopeland. And Steve Johnson will also have yearlings available for inspection on his property on the day from 10 till 3. And the Trots WA will be hosting the barbecue on sales day, as well as happy hour from 11 a.m. till 12 noon, where you have your chance to win one of $4 $1,000 Westbred vouchers on offer. So you got to be there on the day to enter.
Yeah, exactly. And I've only had a quick glance at the book, and I'm going to get stuck into it the next week or so. Looks a very good book too for this year's APG sale. 1st of March, isn't it?
The
sale or not?
You might know the sale date, but that's the tour date is February 25.
Right, okay. I think it might be Sunday 1st of March, but I could be corrected on that.
Okay.
But looking forward to that. The breeding in Western Australia is increasing leaps and bounds, and we've got some great breeders here.
Indeed, and it's only going from strength to strength, Glen.
Yeah, and talking about that, the announcement from Rara about the big W night, the Westbred night in September, is going to be a very exciting night, probably a premier night. It could be work out their way in the long term for harness racing in Western Australia with the 2-year-old colts and fillies, 225, I think, thousand from memory, racing the colts, and 225 for the fillies. And on the same night, you'll have the Group 2 3-year-old races, $100,000 each, 100 for the colts and geldings, another 100 for the fillies. Plus they'll have a few open races for the Westbred as well, Westbreds, colts and geldings, fillies and mares, and possibly consolations too, if the numbers stand up for that particular night. So it's going to be a huge night, and the heats leading up to that will, couple of weeks out, I think, prior to the Westbred night, that'll sort out what gets into those big nights. And there's also a designated winners room that night with prizes to the owners who've got horses in those finals. So that's early September, so that's something really worth looking forward to. And I think it could be maximised by the coverage on that night. Hopefully it'll be similar to the Pacing Cup, where we had TAB radio covering the whole thing and interviews in the birdcage, etc. A great night, I'd say. 3rd
of March is the magic date for the sale. So it's a week after the parade. Parade 25th, 3rd of March is the yearling sale.
Okie dokie, that's good. Cleared that one up.
Glenn, now time to catch up with our second guest of the show, and this time we're catching up with Michael Young. Hello, Michael.
Evening, Hayden. Evening, Glen.
How are you, mate? Got a reasonable, got a reasonable book tomorrow night, particularly with your star mare. Never mind the chaos on the way back.
Yeah, pretty happy with her, and glad to see her draw one. So first time in her life she's ever drawn it. So looks a good race for her on paper, that's for sure.
Yeah, the love of your life, no doubt. You'll be back, and Kiara might be in the barn if she gets up on Friday.
She doesn't have to win. She's still the love of my life.
And Gatespeed's good. Any concerns? Just the barrier one for the first time. Cooper's got a bit of speed, but I would have thought you could handle that.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Like her gate speed is pretty good. We just haven't been able to see it because she's never really drawn to use it. So you got to go back a fair way to see her used. And I think it was as a 3-year-old when she drew 3, I think, and she had a couple of brownies outside of it run the gate, and she held them pretty easily. So her gate speed's okay. We just kind of just kept her on like 5-ish, middle of the row, and we always knew that there was one inside us that wasn't handing up. So we're always just coming out to land the breeze.
Yeah, and the trial of Pinjarra, 156.5, indicates that she's back. Did it pretty comfortably and looked really good. That's encouraging for a start. That hit out, running that time is terrific in terms of this particular race and knowing that she's forward.
Yeah, she's always been like a high cruising speed horse. She's never really won in slow mile race because she doesn't give you the option. She likes to grab on and she likes to roll along. So, the true trial was probably always going to be solid, and the race will be solid tomorrow night if she holds the front because Junior doesn't really get a choice. But, yeah, I'm really happy to have her back. There was stages there where we didn't think we were going to get her back, and then there were stages where she wasn't going any good, and now she seems to be back at her best, so really happy to see it.
You've also got my favourite horse, Le Mondier, in the race as well, but he's going to be hard-pressed to feature.
Yeah, he's probably not going that bad. His last run was okay, back to last from a bad draw in good time, and did it pretty well, I thought. So I think he will win soon. Won't be tomorrow night. I think he drops down to a Tuesday night race after that, though, and I would think he'd be winning one of those pretty quick.
Just drop in somewhere. Don't use the other gate.
Yeah, if he gets back to the rail,
yep.
With Chaos wheeling and dealing in front, it'd be a great spot to be.
Yep. And the other good horse on the way back, What's Up Sunshine, clearly went around in the top class field the other week against a Minstrel and Ideal Agent, but did go the line very strongly, was untested. So it looks like it's back in form. It also looks like I'm a 5-star General, the likely leader.
Yeah, he's that type of horse, Sunshine. He's got so much ability, he just doesn't bring it to the races often. If you drive him like that, like we did last week against good horses, he can run any time and follow a helmet. But it's the trouble when he leaves the helmet. Even in slower time, he doesn't really put the effort in that his ability says he should. So, 5-star General drawn inside us. If we had a drawn to lead, then we'd probably win, but we're probably still around the money somewhere there.
Would you prefer not to be in the breeze in that particular case in terms of first up or second up?
No, I'd probably prefer to breeze with him. He tries harder from there. He's the type of horse that he'll run a good race from the breeze, and he wouldn't earn from the 1-1. So
send them all back?
Yeah, I think we'll let him breeze.
Send them all back?
Yeah, I'd say so. We'll send them all back. He's got pretty good gate speed.
October Rain's in the race also, racing well. So unlikely to go forward, probably drop in, I presume.
Yeah, he's a funny horse. Sometimes he takes charge on the gate.
Yep.
So I'll kind of just leave that to whoever I've got on him. I think it's Denny, is it?
Yep.
Denny, yep. Regal Chevelle in the race, plenty of gate speed. Regal Chevelle early with Matty Brown. Went quick out of the gate last week, led and won. That could be an interesting one early.
Yeah, it might want to get forward. What's Up Sunshine's pretty quick. He held Penny Tiger, so was only by a toenail, but he still held him.
Yeah, he's quick.
Later on, Let It Linger resumes, probably a little bit outclassed in this race, but how's she coming forward?
Yeah, she seems to be getting there. Her first trial was disgusting, and we thought we had her pretty well. So we were clearly wrong there. Put some more work into her and took her to trials at Pinjarra last week, and I thought she went pretty good coming from last against Junior's good one. But, yeah, it looks really hard tomorrow night.
Yeah, looking on paper, Beyond the Sea, the leader, 3 Rumours, the Breeze on paper at least. Would your intention be to try and get the Breeze and sit on 3 Rumours or not get involved?
Probably just get to the rail and do our best.
Luke Capello, there's a horse that looks like he's resumed in just about career best form. He's drawn wide, but he is one barrier inside of Hotly Pursued. There looks some speed underneath you, though, so it's a pretty tough act.
Yeah, probably suited to these 4-year-old Westbred races that are worth good stakes. They're not, the depth is not overly strong, so he can probably drive him like he did first up, pretty soft, and let him get home, and he should run into the money again. I think Hotly Pursued will be hard to beat.
Probably launch, you think, on face value, Hotly Pursued in this class?
It might, but I don't think it'll matter either way. It's pretty classy for these types.
Don't know, like Charco Eagle's got to want to be as forward as it can, and the big one is Travel Band. Like, he's lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travel Band is the one that
He'll go forward. Bailing Up Boy might be driven with a bit of aggression, given the fact Charco Eagle probably gets the initial lead off Rock the Bank, and then the way this horse is going, Bailing Up Boy, he might drive it with a bit of aggression.
Yeah, possibly.
It's going up in class.
Hotly Pursued has Metro Gate speed, whereas those other ones are low country horses.
Yeah, I'm just presuming Hotly Pursued crosses them, but if they take the other option, then there could be a little battle on for that early position, Bailing Up Boy, Charco and Travel Band.
Yeah, that would help us.
Yep.
You're going to, well, you're not, but someone's going to Albany tomorrow night. And in the first race, the Society Chutney. Eddie's going to be hanging off what you're saying here. How's Pecunious going?
I took her to trials last week, and she was well unders because she's probably the worst track worker I've ever put hobbles on. So had no idea where she was at. She looks healthy. She's well. She's pacing as good as I've ever had her pacing. And her trial was okay for where she's at. So, yeah, relatively happy with her, but she got the visitors draw.
I said, how is she? And then you started saying, shoo. I thought we were going in a different direction with that.
She dropped into the right class, didn't she, Michael? That's the thing, you know. First up, backline draw, but capable of certainly figuring the finish in that class on her best form anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I certainly wouldn't swap her for anything else in the field. But I would think that she would win this race at her best. But like I said, her work is so bad that it's so hard to get her to peak fitness. So I would think that she'll take a few runs.
Chillin's won. It's drawn a sort of an awkward draw, I guess, with Cool Barty Navajo in there. There's a bit of gate speed off the front. Alexander the Great's quick out. Likely to cross the one, I would have thought. But Chillin probably got the class. Probably Cool Barty Navajo be the one, the danger.
Yeah, I put the kid on him so he could draw good, and he drew terrible, so I should have left Stewie on. But probably be good to see him off this kind of run, because I think this is his future. I think when he gets to Metro grade, his speed will be an asset. It'll be good to see what he does.
Yep. Coming along, Aaron Stavelko too, as he gets the experience, he's coming along quite nicely.
Yeah, he drives them nice. He's kind to them. He's got a bit of finesse in the car. Just needs to figure out a bit more race smarts yet.
Yep.
Kindness, not an attribute passed down by you. Race 5.
No.
Ideal Tomatoes out. You've got Chasing Hill, though, in the race, and he's in top form. He broke the track record last start. Can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, I really like this horse. I've liked him since the first time we put hobbles on him. So last week was sensational. He peeled about a second and a half off the track record. So, yeah, I would think that he could deal with this field, but he'll have to be coming around him at some stage.
Is there a trick at all with him? Because he was so good last week, and then he probably should have won the 2 starts before. Was there anything there?
Yeah, so Stewie said he got a bit pulley in the Albany Cup, and he thought that it cost him the race. So when we first got him, we took all the gear off him, head check included, and he likes to get his head down low and kind of tilt his neck, and I thought that was why he was pulling. So I put a head check on him at Northern, and he's just a strange horse. I had it really loose, but he obviously hated it. He started flogging his knee and that again, and wouldn't go. So took it back off, and last week is what we got.
Went very good. Any issues?
Yeah.
Ideal Tomato long term? I see it scratched there.
No, I didn't actually have Chasing Hill in that race. I had him in the feature race, but it fell over and it dumped those two in together, and I didn't see much point in them racing each other.
Hayden wants to know how on the back foot's going.
It's the only reason I've got him on. He won't talk to me otherwise.
We had to get you on air to find out. See how hard it is.
No, he's going pretty good. Pretty happy with him. Obviously, first up, and I was pretty impressed with Del Boca Vista Bay's run last start down there when it mowed down Princess Katie. So
158.8 too.
I would think it's a racing two. We're probably going to be in front though, so maybe advantage us slightly.
Particularly if Del Boca Vista Bay, which went tremendously well last start, is not on the rail perhaps. It's always been a better horse on the rail like most horses, but particularly this horse has always shown ability, hasn't it? But it got the rail last start and went tremendously well.
Yeah, I don't know how they'll drive it. If they sit outside us, then probably gives us a better chance to beat it, because there's not a whole lot else in there that we have to worry about, so we can kind of just drive to beat it. And if they go back to the rail, we get the hop on him when he pulls out, and maybe that gives us our chance to beat it as well. So definitely advantage us because of the draw.
On Tuesday, you take Jax's Ideal to the Sales Classic Heats, drawn out in gate number 6. Seems like you like this horse, though. Maybe not as much as Never Mind the Chaos, but seems like she's left an impression.
Yeah, funny enough, after a second trial, I think it was at Byford, Betsy came up to me after and he goes, there's a bit of Never Mind the Chaos about this one. So maybe that's why I like her.
Oh, God, I'm not thinking the same as Betsy, am I? It's okay, Betsy. I know you'll be tuning in. Said in jest. But, yeah, it seems like you like her.
I do like her.
Yeah.
So you were confident at Narrogin before the Blue broke up, was going to win?
Yeah, I think she was going to win at Narrogin. Junior was of the same sorts, but you never know, babies. There was still 150, 200 to go, so anything could have happened, but all we can go off is what we know of her as a horse and what feel she was given Junior at the time. So, I think she was going to win, so happy enough.
Sweet Lucifer goes around later on. I think there might be one reason this horse is still in your stable. Is that fair?
Yeah, and that one reason has to take him in on Tuesday night so she can deal with the late race.
Well, what did you make of his last run? I thought it was pretty good. Kiara thought it was pretty good. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was one of his better runs. He mixes his form a bit, and when he mixes his form, he mixes his gate speed. So when he gets out the gate like he did the other night, then you know he's going all right. So hopefully he holds that form going forward, but we've run into Grievous on Tuesday, so that doesn't look good at all.
Michael, coming up to the big races, the slot race, Fremantle Cup, have you got anything that might measure up to the fast class ranks?
No, I don't think so. Kind of just got a couple of middle range horses like your What's Up Sunshines and etc. at the moment. So our best one was probably Watching Our Coin, but he sold to the States.
Yep, and Mustang.
Mustang retired.
Retired, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
One more I've got for you, Michael. Quintessence on Wednesday. Draw's okay, but it's a lot harder than what this horse has been meeting.
Yeah, draw's fair. Being a 5 in the 5 to 7, she could have kind of drawn 1 or inside the back as well, which would have been a lot better than 2. not really sure what to make of her yet. Watching her on TV race and driving her at the track, it seems like there's another gear there, but she just hasn't clicked into it yet.
You might be able to answer this question for me. So Nancy Kay's a level 4. Would it be treated the same as the level 5s in terms of barrier, or does it still get the advantage because it's a 5 to 7 race?
No, it was drawn with the 5s. It just got lucky.
Yeah, okay. All right, that wraps us up for your engagements. Who's your best over the next 4 days?
Never mind the cars.
Okay. Put in, take out, something for the punters.
And Jax is ideal. We'll double them up.
Double it up. All right. Sounds
Between.
good.
All right.
Thanks for coming
Mini,
on.
never mind the chaos and the real deal.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, Michael. Enjoy.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Cheers.
Michael Young there with his thoughts on his upcoming runners for the weekend ahead. Glen, this segment brought to us by Steel Blue Boots. Built for work, made for comfort. Get into your local Steel Blue stockist if you do need some footwear. We might go to a break now, Glen.
Very good. Yeah, thanks for that.
And as we do, Steno, one of the fastest horses we have in the state from behind the mobile, and when she's out in front, nigh on impossible to roll.
The time's 1:51.9, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, 1:51.9 confirmed, and she did it with a leg in the air, Steno. Let's go back to the replay as Jocelyn Young sent her home to victory.
2 lengths now on Cyclone Charter, the length and a half beyond the sea. A fight for fourth currently. No fight for the lead. It's all Steno. Cyclone Charter to the outside is giving chase, but Steno's going to lead all the way and win easy in the Laurie Kennedy. It's a length. Steno from Cyclone Charlotte beyond the sea. Lady Jazora's run.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Still held together well up to the turn. Jaws of Lincoln around the outside of Soho Santorini. The Mickey Taker boxing on. Franco Weston on the inside, but hotly pursued had turned for home. Jaws of Lincoln is giving chase. Hotly pursued in front, stride by stride. Jaws of Lincoln comes after him, but the winning post is too close and hotly pursued all the way. Hotly pursued from Jaws of Lincoln, and third
Was a good result for us here on Talking Trots. Steered into that one by Bomber Hill, and the only cause for concern came in that first 50 metres, Glen, when fleetingly there looked a threat that he might be crossed. But
Santorini had a good look at him.
But he put those fears to bed rather sharply, and the rest was an elementary.
Very slow lead time, slow first quarter, 38.4 and 31.3, I think,
Success.
from memory, which made it harder for Jaws of Lincoln.
Hotly pursued. All right, let's get to Bomber here. Bomber, good result there with that horse last week. You also had Steno get up, so it wasn't a bad night.
No, it was good. Well, first of all, good afternoon. But, the two good things got home, and, the couple of smaller bets gave us a bit of a sight, but knocked up late. So, we finished on the right side of the ledger at least.
Steno was a marvellous price, really, wasn't it? Opening, and it was there for quite a while too.
Yeah, and I couldn't quite understand it because I couldn't see anything holding her out, and she just keeps rolling. I thought, I didn't know she'd get down to that sort of time. I thought 1:53 would win, but, she ran the arms off the clock.
Yeah, and Cyclone Charlotte, even the $1.90 or so, the place opening, provided that all worked out, was a double whammy for the punters if they could take the place and the win, get the double whammy home, and the novelties, which paid very well with a 10-horse railing through late, which was beyond the sea. So, that sort of the map worked out perfectly, but you probably thought Wonderful to Fly and those horses would, taking the Mickey, would finish top 3 or 4, but that didn't happen.
Just so hard off the pegs when they run that sort of time over the mile, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, mission impossible. Hey, Bomber, quickly before we start, I know you've got a footy tipping competition coming up. Do you want to talk us through that? Hopefully get some interest.
Yeah, so I've been running that for about 5 years now on Twitter, and it's just gradually grown and grown each year. I do an AFL, which is the bulk of the numbers. Last year, I think the winner took home $50 entry, and I think the winner took home $1,225 from memory. And so 70% of the overall pot goes to the winner, 20% goes to second, and 10% for third. So good little interest, particularly for those Eagles supporters that aren't going to have much luck this year. You can,
include yourself in that one, Bomber. You're not travelling that well yourself. Leave the Eagles alone, for Christ's sake.
Just keep an eye on Twitter. I'll keep posting up the link there pretty regularly, and get on board, and hopefully we can surpass that last year's number and make it a really nice pop.
If you do want to get involved, Hill Bomber on Twitter, and you'll find everything you need from there. Let's find some winners. Race 1 tomorrow night is where we're starting. The Trots End #WinnersWin. There's one for Rads at 5:54, 21:30 the trip, and number 1 Sid Strepo is engaged for Brett Smith. 2 Paragua Ad Astra, 3 Belezanero, 4 Illawong Mustang, 5 Franco Ecuador, passed his first test in flying colours, 6 State of Heaven, 7 Greg Army, 8 Galaxy Warrior, 9 the Mickey Taker, 10 Post Game, 11 the Wild Card, 12 Might Have Time. Who do you like here, Bomber?
Yeah, we're going to kick off with a place bet. I thought Per Ardua at Astra's plan A, he had to be to get across the pole marker nice and early. Sid Strepo, not really a Friday night horse, so I don't think he can afford to get involved in a battle. And I thought he'd get across him, and whilst Belezanero will run the gate as well, if he can hold him out and then take a sit on the hopcot, he's a horse that follows speed really well. Last time he got the opportunity to follow a really good horse, it was I'm a 5-star General, and he held on to his coattails over the longer trip in a really slick last half. And I think so long as he gets past the pole marker, he's a really good thing to run a place.
Yeah, it looks like that on paper, and you alluded to the same thing I've been thinking about. Belezanero out of the gate very quick. Might have a look and have the same idea. That's the only issue. But Vogue right alongside Dylan there, so that gives him the advantage, I guess.
Yeah, I think, drawn right alongside helps. And also, even if he did end up 3 pegs, I don't think it'd be the worst result to run a place anyway. I expect him to get home pretty quickly.
Yep, for sure. How many units, that one?
Yeah, 2 units. I thought he'd be somewhere around the $2 mark for the place. I'm not sure if that's wishful thinking, but I think 2-unit place bet to kick us off.
I think that'd be about right. You got Mickey Taker a place chance in the race.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to be getting around about that price. Would be quite reasonable.
Corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. Get into Bayswater Mazda for all your automobile requirements. KTC Bloodstock Yearling Parade, 25th February. We've spoken about it earlier. That is the name of race number 4 on the card. That's where we're going next. And at 21:30, the trip at 7:27. Number 1, Gettin' Wiggy With It. Second time out for Ron Houston. 2 El Daytona, 3 Sugar Street, 4 Galactic Star, 5 Soho Dow Jones, 6 Armour Einstein, 7 Rascal, 8 Show Pony, 9 Finvara, 10 Jasper Vella Beach. Who do you like here, Bomber?
Yeah, going to back a couple here. I think we'll get a nice price, nice enough price. And first one was Sugar Street. He's up in grade here, but he could hardly have been more impressive at his 2 runs from a spell. I thought he hit the front first up before his condition gave out when he had to sit in the breeze, and then last week he was spotted just climbing all over their backs in 3 sub-29 quarters. He's probably got a few options from the gate, and I just love the way he's come back. And the other one that's flying and going below the radar a bit is probably Galactic Star. His figure form's not sensational, but I thought he was. He's been running some really good sectionals and got some options off the gate, and I thought we could back both of them for a result in this race.
Yeah, and I thought Denny would be fairly positive out of the gate here with Galactic Star, given the class drop. And
I think she's got that opportunity.
Yeah,
whether he has been smashing the line from back in the field, so whether they stick with that plan, I'm not sure, but he does have options for sure.
Last time I drew similar, I think it went forward and ended up with the 1-1. Went a 1 a few starts back, so dropping class, I'd imagine they'll drive with a bit more confidence.
Yeah.
But bit of value there. The units involved there.
Yeah, I think just 1 unit each. They're going to be a nice enough price, and both horses going really well.
All right, let's go to a break now before we continue on with this preview. And last week we had Minstrel able to salute over Ideal Agent. Ideal Agent very strongly supported, but Minstrel just too tough from the breeze, and he was able to chisel out a strong success.
Minstrel in front of Talks Up a Storm. Ideal Agent the outside. Shell Patch follows the favourite. Rascal has one off as they corner. Minstrel in front of Ideal Agent on the outside. Talks Up a Storm is fighting on well. Shell Patch getting to the outside. Rascal. Minstrel in front. Favourite with every stride tries to get there, but Minstrel upsets Ideal Agent. Back in third is Talks Up a Storm.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio racing and sport.
Working up 3 wide. World Secret's now 1 off from the Swindler and Princess Katie. Favourite hits the lead as they corner for home. Exceptional Armour, Inner Wink on the outside. Exceptional Armour and Inner Wink. Inner Wink's finishing off the better here. It's got to Exceptional Armour, hit the front and coming on to win. Inner Wink by a half a length to Exceptional Armour. And the Swindlers finished third from World
Minor
Secret.
boil over with Inner Wink turning over Exceptional Armour. Just had to do too much work in the breeze and they churned out a very fast 156.2 mile rate, Glen. She's a strong sit sprinting type of horse, Inner Wink. She doesn't necessarily have the tactical speed, but she can finish with a flurry.
Yeah, the disadvantage for the favourite there was the leader was running along Lucy Kane and was pulling pretty hard, otherwise it was probably inclined to hand over. But when that didn't happen, there was a bit of chasing going on there, and Inner Wink showed its ability. Still had to get the job done to get over the good filly, and got the job done late very strongly. I think you'd see great improvement also from Colin Brown trained horse, Exceptional Armour. And it still went pretty good, I thought, and was a bit of a sitting shot, but all credit to the winner there.
Lord Mayor's Cup is race number 5 on the program, 21:30, 8:05, and we do have a tab touch market for this race. Let's have a look at some flux as well. Number 1, Tricky Mickey, $7.50 down to $4.80. 2, Rumour Has It, 15. 3, Classic Choice, 41. 4, Ideal Agent, holds favouritism, but drifting. $2.90 out to $3.40. 5, Mighty Ronaldo's been 21 to 17. 6, Al Capone, 26. 7, Jaws of Lincoln out to 5 from $4.40. 8, Minstrel, $4.20. 9, Swing Band, 21. Penny Tiger number 10 is 13. 11, Talks Up a Storm, 100 to 1 down to 41. And 12, Shall Patch, $21. What are you thinking here in the feature, Bomber?
Yeah, well, I struggled to nail the map here, but I see Mortz has opened the wallet with Tricky Mickey, and that tells me they're probably going to try and hold up with him. And
yeah, well, Bomber, I'll just stop you there for a sec. We had Justin Prentice on before, and yes, he did intend to hold the front.
There you go. So that aids my bet here in Penny Tiger for the place. He probably, got the only draw they didn't want, but it looks like it could turn out okay, and he'll end up most likely leaders back if Tricky Mickey does hold, and it looks to be genuine speed. They'll be up outside him and having a crack at Tricky Mickey, particularly first up from a spell. And I thought Penny Tiger was devastating first up in cruise control, and whilst he'll have to be driven for luck here, we saw back in the 4-year-old classic that he's brilliant at the end of races if he does get held up for that one run. And if he can get into the clear at some stage, I think he's a sensational place price, and he'll hit the line really hard.
Intriguing speed map, isn't it? Tricky Mickey likely leader. The query horse, see they put up $12, Jaws of Lincoln, and heavily backed into around about the $5 mark around the place. Just an interesting one for me as to how they'll drive it here in terms of when you let him loose out of the gate, maybe he could get past a few of these. Ronaldo won't go forward. Al Capone and from that draw, you wouldn't think so. Ideal Agent will want to, but could get crossed by Jaws of Lincoln out of the gate. Rumour Has It drawn 2. I didn't think they'd bother because of the 1. Classic Choice, I don't think I'll burn. So I just wonder about Jaws of Lincoln. It's fascinating tactics here to see if they take the punt and let loose out of the gate.
Yeah, well, I actually saw it exactly the same way as you, and that's why I initially thought Penny Tiger would be either leaders back or 3 back. But I went Jaws of Lincoln as quick as he is. He in that mile race, he couldn't even put a margin on Rumour Has It. So I'm not sure that he will be able to get across from that start point on. And it's particularly the way he's been hitting the line and first up into this class. So I reckon they'll give him his chance from the back with looks like plenty of pressure on.
Yeah, well, clearly Mitchell will want to be put in the race, won't it? So even if you landed outside the leader with Jaws of Lincoln, if Minstrel comes, you'd be happily taking the 1-1.
True.
So you might not have to rush there. But Ideal Agent's going to be the one. They'll have to get past it early, maybe to secure that position. Interesting last week, after the race, interviewing Denny in the parade ring, she indicated she thought she underdrove it a bit, Ideal Agent, and that she'd be driving a bit more aggressive next start. So that was the comment based on giving the breeze up softly to the stablemate. What were your thoughts there watching that live? Talks up a storm. Do you think if she pressed on, she might have got the front?
I don't think so. Like he
They slowed right down, didn't they? When
you would have to burn plenty of petrol. I think it wouldn't have been easy.
No, just when Minstrel came, I mean, then press on.
Yeah, but I think the right decision was made for the stable as a whole.
Yes,
both horses given their chance.
Very true.
Still got them for the next week.
So. Yeah, her comment got me after the race that she thought she might have underdriven it a bit and be more aggressive in future. It's made me wonder about that. But you're right, from the viewpoint of the stable, they both had their chance.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow night what she does for sure.
Definitely. And what were the units there?
I think a 2-unit place, around the $3 place, and I just think that's a really good price for a horse that's going to be coiled up and has his ability to finish off.
Yep.
That's the third of our tips, and the fourth comes up in race 6, the Tab Radio Pace, 21:30, 8:35 start time. Tab touch up on this as well. Number 1, Beyond the Sea, 175 favourite. 2, I'm a Tiny Dancer, 26. 3, Lady Jador, 21. 4, Let It Linger, 34. 5, Max Legacy, 26. 6, 3 Rumours has been the firmer, 380 down to 340. 7, Miss Boudica, 41. 8, Zephyr, 19. 9, Nullaborn Navajo, 440. And 10, Minor Catastrophe, 126. What's the thought here, Bomber?
Yeah, well, I'm interested to get your thoughts on this, but I think they've got these two around the wrong way. I'm really keen 3 Rumours, whilst Beyond the Sea looks to get the easiest lead. I think that just means 3 Rumours gets to the chair easily as well, and Junior can just be his masterful self from outside Beyond the Sea. And they've met 4 times recently, and 3 Rumours has beaten the other mare on every occasion. And, like I said, Beyond the Sea is going to get the lead here. It won't be easy with 3 Rumours up outside, and I think she can out-tough her.
Yeah, I'm with you in terms of it's a big difference in that market, $1.75 to $3.40, and I think there'll be a big move, 3 Rumours over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they don't start much closer together.
Yeah, I agree. Closer to even money and into about 230, 240 in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to hear that, because that's the way I saw it, and I was wondering if I was missing something, but yeah.
Well, it's always, favouritism to the barrier one with the easy lead time. First quarter, like Holly Pursued, 38.4 lead time, 31.3. It does help, doesn't it, if it becomes a sprint home, because Beyond the Sea obviously can sprint a very quick half. And maybe it's going to be approaching its peak form too, but Junior would probably have to go after it to beat it, not sit off it.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be the case, and
I think so.
And Beyond the Sea, whilst not being fully wound up of late, probably has definitely had a chance. And 3 Rumours has been too good after doing all the work in those races as well.
Yeah, when you look at it, if 3 Rumours is in the breeze outside Beyond the Sea, then you start looking for the ones camping on them. If Junior does drive to beat the favourite, which I think he will.
Navajo would be the only one that would concern me, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yep, Lady Jaw might be 1-1, I guess. If it kicks up, holds the breeze and waits for the 3 Rumours. And Boudica went okay first up. It's a bit of a swooper, tricky draw for it. Zephyr at its best, but Nullaborn Navajo's the clear one, but he's going to be back in the field, isn't it?
Yeah, a long way back, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I'm with you on that price. That seems luxury to me.
Yeah.
How many units?
No, we'll step in with a 3-unit bet. As I said, I think I wouldn't be at all surprised if she started favourite, to be honest. But that's, we'll see. We'll go a 3-unit bet, 3 Rumours.
For sure.
All right, that wraps up our preview. Have you got a multi at all?
Yeah, going with a bit of a short one, or the first 2 at least. 3 Rumours, she's around the $1.20 the place. She can't miss a drum, I don't think. And into race 8, number 9, Hotly Pursued, it'll just win. And then a little bit of value, I think, here, race 9, number 2, then you came along, which will, for the place, it'll jump on the stablemate's back, and I think we'll either win or run second. And with only 2 place divs, there should be a little bit of value there. So if we multi those 3 up, we're going to get, around I would imagine around the sort of $2.40, $2.50 mark with a bit of luck.
Well, 663 Rumours is 130 a place. 89 Hotly Pursued is 120 a win. So that's $1.56 into whatever Then You Came Along is. So providing he's $1.50, $1.60 a place, then we'll get what you want.
Yeah, I think around that $1.60 mark with only 2 place divs. So, yeah, we'll run with that one.
And went pretty good at Pinjarra. Did get its wheel behind 10 to the dozen in that race where it loomed up at Pinjarra and ran a very close half-head second, I think it was. It's got its wheel just caught behind 10 to the dozen there. And it might have got very close on the line if that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's it. And,
he's definitely... Sorry, Bomber. You go.
No, you're right, mate. You're right.
He's definitely a horse that's progressed a heap in the last 3 months. Then You Came Along, because I think he was clearly well behind them, but his last 2 performances have indicated he's made a lot of inroads.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And again, could pay well for the play. It's 1-2, but...
I think it'll be more than $1.50, $1.60 for sure.
Yeah, it'll get out to even money, given the 1-2, so that it is racing super well, that horse, no doubt. And it'll be good to see Menemsha, we call it. Menemsha on the way back, possibly in the breeze. That's the only issue, but it's a pretty good race, isn't it? Franco Encore, it's got ability. Little Master was a touch under first up, but might improve with the run. And then you got 10 to the dozen, has gone under last start with every chance too. Golden Load went over the top, went enormous, Golden Load. So we've got some nice ones coming through.
For sure.
Indeed. All right, thanks, Bomber. Best of luck.
Yeah, and you too, guys. Have a great night. And,
good on you, Bomber.
That's Scott Bomber Hill delivering the winners for us for tomorrow evening. We've got to take a break. We'll have a look at some more country racing on the other side. Before we do, loans 1, 2, 3. 1-800 100 100, the number you call if you need Steve Sell to come and help you out. All right, last Friday, a horse that we have spoken about briefly earlier on, Glen, Regal Cheval. He's really returned in some great form since being an acquisition to the Hall Junior camp.
Going really well, yeah. Look, it's been dying out for that opportunity, and a couple of runs under the belt from the first up 11.77 where it got run down by Santorini after that, unlucky. And Friday night winner in a good price considering it was a chance of leading.
Like, I know it's tote, but it got out to double figures.
Yeah, it was good. Insane. Yeah. So I took the punt, and it was a punt really whether it could lead or not. There was confidence that the one might hold up, Medieval Man, and there's plenty of money for it late. But the value was there if you took the punt and won pretty authoritatively in the finish.
Indeed. Here's Regal Cheval winning the opener last week.
And angling off the pegs is Rock and Roll Elliott, length and a half to Ponte Vivo and getting wiggy with it. Regal Cheval leading on the turn, Sugar Apple the outside, the Kraken between them. No run for Medieval Man, and then Rock and Roll Elliott. Leader is Regal Cheval, Sugar Apple trying. Regal Cheval, though he's had a great run, capitalises, wins all the way. Sugar Apple, Regal Cheval from Sugar Apple, and in third was...
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
8-3. Louis V in front. Mr. Moonwalker's off the inside looking the only danger. Wicked Hustler got up on the pegs, and then Ruby Lou in the straight though. It's Louis V in front. Down the outside, Mr. Moonwalker. Louis V, Mr. Moonwalker. Louis V pulling out plenty in front of Mr. Moonwalker near the line, and Louis V will just get home. Louis V by half head to Mr. Moonwalker. A distant third was Kujan, and then Wicked
Hustler. It was Robbie Williams' domination in the 2-year-old on Tuesday. Louis V holding off Mr. Moonwalker by a narrow margin, and from a fair distance out, they looked the big two. A great result for him and his owners there, Glen.
Very much so, yeah. Purchased at Yearling sales. Robbie obviously got a good eye for them, and very confident in the parade ring before the race. Indicated that they'll both be in the finish, and he couldn't have got it more right, and value too. If you followed it, unfortunately couldn't see the Wanneroo trials, so it's a bit hard to line them up, but Robbie was good enough to give the good push for them, and they got around at good value, ran first and second.
Certainly must have an eye for them. You remember going back 12 years ago now, he had Lucky Joy win the State Sires final after he purchased her for $500.
Exactly, the Midas touch.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll be fronting up at this year's Yearling sales.
Yeah, no doubt. He's there every year, and he has clearly made some astute purchases there. We've got racing coming up in the country. Firstly, on Friday at Albany. We have talked about this meeting briefly. Gets underway at 6:17. I'm going to be with Bizarre Package in race number 2. Horse 6 should be driven aggressively here and be very hard to beat. She certainly does her best work when driven in that manner. So pretty confident there.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Bizarre Package going extremely well. Bit unlucky last touch, went down late. 2 starts before that. Won easily, led, went around very heavily backed and got the money and looks hard to beat in that class tomorrow night.
Speaking of unlucky, American Monarch was desperately unlucky.
Yeah,
would have won that race.
Yeah, got knocked out of it and did a good job, but previous form was, when it was in the field, previous starts was very, very good form for this race. I agree.
Yeah,
race 3, number 9.
Yeah, should be winning there, American Monarch. Then race 5, number 10, we got the tip from Michael, Chasing Hill. Really seems like he's glowing about this horse.
Yeah, it could be very short, but back line you might get a little bit of value about it.
If it's too short, don't be bothering.
It'll be probably $1.50 best, possibly shorter, but the time it ran last was sensational, so it could be $1.30 chance. But anyway, you can judge it and you can play novelties there. But yeah, it looks extremely hard to beat it. I didn't mind the race before, the Chillin race, Cool Buddy, Navajo. Might be the value race 4, number 9.
Yeah, for sure.
Chillin's the one to beat, of course.
It's a shocking draw for Chillin.
Terrible draw for Chillin. Still the one to beat, I guess, on face value, but it could be awkward. Cool Buddy, Navajo's going really well. Race 4, number 9. Again, prices, we need to see prices, but those 2 should be around the mark there.
Race 7, I tipped this horse last start. I didn't think it would be anything close to that price, Crowded Reactor.
No.
If I had have known it was going to be $1.32, I never would have said it.
No, risky conveyance, isn't it? And driven accordingly. You have to let it balance and find its way into the race at the right time. It's going to win one, but it's always a nervous watch watching it go around the corners.
Yeah, if you get an okay price, you can back it tomorrow night, race 7, number 10. But if it's odds on, don't bother. If it does everything right, it'll win, but it's too great a risk to take. And in the spirit of nepotism, race 8, number 4 on the back foot should lead and win, won't it?
Well, I'd respect El Boca Vista Bay in terms of the 158.8. First up, it did find the rail, sat and then sprinted brilliantly. It's always had the ability. It's just its pacing action. It's been a problem. It could well be one off the fence here if on the back foot can lead, which I'm suspecting will happen. Whether Del Boca Vista Bay just sits outside it or ducks in and comes with one run. It's only 6 in that race, so they might balance up and come at the bell or something. So I think they'll fight it out, but yeah, it's advantage, and Michael Young's seemed to be pretty confident. And just go back into that standing start. I know it's off the back mark, Thompson Bay, but Jesus, didn't it go good again last week? His last couple of runs been excellent, and the 80 metres may not look as bad as what it is perceived to be with the front line 10 metres. And the lack of absolute class in this race, I think Thompson Bay could get the job done at 2,648 metres and was climbing over them last week in a very, very strong field against good horses last week, off the back mark last week of 30 metres, and still managed to close late on Mr. Mont Blanc and Ards Horizon. And with a bit of daylight earlier, it might have worried them.
Interesting race, that one. I want to take you on, but I can't. I don't know who else.
Well, the 80 metres, of course you do, but
yeah,
it may not look 80 metres in the run with that long distance race. There's not many here. Probably Gypsy Dragon will probably the one that'll begin quick enough to get to the front.
That's what I was just thinking, because
it's the only
probably
issue.
Beat Out, got a good war hole.
Yeah, probably the only issue is to sectionals you have to run to catch it, but obviously last week Gypsy Dragon got drilled. So this week more suitable if it can jump to the front, but I've got major respect for Thompson Bay in that race.
Bunbury on Saturday. That gets underway at 5:59. Of course, last meeting, the lights looked stunning.
Terrific, weren't they? Really bright, came across terrifically well on Sky. I was very pleased from a vision viewpoint, and from a long-term viewpoint, it's great to see Bunbury back, and we can utilise Bunbury during the day as well when we need to, and certainly on the Friday nights when we have the double meeting would be great, and the Saturday nights as well. All goes well for the future down there.
Yeah, race 6. I like horse 12, Atomic Feel here.
Yep.
Tell you what, if they bet anywhere close to the $21, snaffle it up.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be getting that. But
No.
backline draw is going to be a bit of value. As Terrian did go better last start, a couple of runs in, it's just started to find its form a little bit. So clearly it's going to be around the place and did go okay. Like it shows it's on the improve a bit. I agree with you, Atomic Feel's a very nice horse in terms of the barrier draw is just a little tricky. I think you'll get value, but not the $21. I think you might be lucky to get that. But yeah, look, I'd agree it's going to run a race, that's for sure. I didn't mind the Swindler earlier, Hayden, race 2, number 8. Drawn behind Atlantic Gem at first look. Atlantic Gem's the leader, trialled okay Atlantic Gem, but the Swindlers with the race fitness is drawn right behind it with a sprint lane. Race 2, number 8, I thought could be hard to beat there as well.
Okay, just on Atomic Feel, I was really big on it last start.
Yep.
And it should have won that race. If without making that mistake, it would have won.
It's going terrifically well.
Yeah.
If we can just put it in the race at the right time, we know it can stay and sprint. So, yeah, look, it's always been a horse with plenty of ability. It just had its issues, but, yep, it could be value for sure.
Well, no racing on Monday with Pinjarra put back to Wednesday. Gloucester Park on Tuesday. We've got a big 12-race card. We have spoken momentarily about the Sales Classic Heats. We'll know more after Tuesday, I'm sure.
Yep. They are first to third to qualify and fastest fourth. So the punters know what's involved there. So the top 3 go through and the fastest fourth.
10-horse finals, yep.
That'll be right. So that gives you a bit of an idea. And sometimes speed maps can revolve around knowing that. Bit of work to do there yet with trial replays and a bit of catching up first glance. A little bit tricky without doing all the form on those races. So.
Yeah, I've gone away from them. Race 2, number 1, Adore Me Some More.
Yep.
Just worth a spec here. It's a bit of a tougher race. In fact, it probably is too tough, particularly with the presence of Rattling Lily, but I'm not sure the smaller track's going to suit Rattling Lily down to the ground. Adore Me Some More. Chris Folk said if this horse leads the other night, it'll win.
I did hear that, and he had a crack early, but just couldn't get across. And
so now he's banged there on the rail. At least he's got the option to do whatever he wants.
Did stick in my mind, that comment. It's a good field, so there'll be value there, Hayden. You've got a few there like A Lady Jen. Hunt the Magic's going okay. And then you've got the class of Rattling Lily. If it gets around outside the leader early enough, I'd be a bit worried.
Yeah, for sure.
But as you say, tractability-wise, it might take a while to get there, but it'll be the one to beat, clearly. Yep, so very interesting little race.
Tell you what, race 4, initially looking at it, I was going, bang, Rock and Roll Elliott leads and wins.
Then Mickey Jet.
And then you get down to horse 8.
Yep. Mickey Jet, very classy horse, massive run in the stand. After losing that ground the other day, terrific run, horse with a big future. Rock and Roll Elliott's going to be cheeky, though. Don't worry about that. He can run some time. He's going to get the easy lead, I believe. And Mickey Jet, I think, is capable of sitting outside and beating it, but it won't be a stroll in the park. He'll have to earn it.
Certainly will. And then we head across to Pinjarra after a big 12-race program on the Tuesday. We've got 8 commencing at 11:13 on Wednesday. And here, I'm going to take another punt on Dawson Shard. Race 5, number 1. He just couldn't do enough to hold a position anywhere close to them last time, but I think he's going okay, and this is a bit easier than what he faced last time.
Definitely easier than last time, yep.
So I'm going to be in his corner again. Race 5, number 1, Dawson Shard. Couple of other nice little races supplementing that program. The Stand Start's a really interesting race, and Thompson Bay won't know himself off 40 metres.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he'll be there again. I haven't had a good look yet. These fields have just come out late, but I'll go for Dawson Shard. I know you tipped the other day. It didn't get the right run. In terms of this race, it's definitely a better race for him.
One that's interesting, a reward for perseverance would be apt if Resolution can reach the right climax and get that first win. Wayne Price hasn't presented this horse in some time, but trialled up at Byford the other day, although in a slow time. Certainly creates that point of difference in the third race there
Okie dokie.
for the maidens. That's our week or so ahead of racing. That takes us right through the next 6 days. Glenn, it's going to be a big bonanza.
Yep, there's a couple of other little bit of housekeeping here. I don't know how many times people have asked me, are they doing an audit on the barrier draws, computer barrier draws? That audit will take place in the first quarter of this year. So in the next month or so is a proper audit just to make sure, and there's people with all sorts of opinions on computer barrier draws, how they sometimes can pick up some memory items in a computerised barrier draw. So they're regularly audited by Lotto and those people based on these inconsistencies that can occur. So people have been asking that question. The audit will take place in the next month or so.
I'll step in.
Yes.
Retrovision. Save an extra 5% every day with Retrovision. Mortz isn't here.
Yep.
He's off on the way to New Zealand with Radley as well, and they're in the safe hands of Justin Prentice. So they'll be back very soon.
Yep.
But get into Retrovision in Mortz's absence.
The other thing is the rankings. Rowa put out information on the rankings, which will start on the 8th of March for the Fremantle Cup. They'll do the 8th, 22nd of March, 8th of April, 15th of April. And there'll be some golden tickets. For example, if you win the Bunbury Cup or Pinjarra Cup, you're in. Governor's Cup, you win that, you're in. And the Nullarbor, of course, is another one. If you win any of those, you'll rocket into the Fremantle Cup. And your performances for the ranking panel from the 8th of March, there'll be a number of criteria for that, including winning Open Group 1 races or Group 2 races around Australia and New Zealand. If you won a major race like that, that'll be taken seriously into consideration, and perhaps preludes. And there's all sorts of ways of working your way up the rankings, including your current free-for-all form, and of course, if you've got a great career record, clearly too, you can elevate yourself in. So that rankings will be very, very interesting. 8th of March it'll come out, and it'll keep updating through the next few weeks.
Thanks for joining me once again, Glenn.
Not a worry at all. Good to be here.
Hopefully some winners, and you'll be on the preview. Who's the guest?
Yeah, tomorrow on the preview, we've got Hayden DeCampo and Kyle Harper, so very good guest tomorrow. And we'll join them with Tim Walker on the panel, Trent Cooper and Matt Young as well. So, yeah, tune in tomorrow morning to listen to Kyle Harper and Hayden DeCampo. They've got some very important runners.
That does us for another edition of Talking Trots. Hope you've enjoyed. Best of luck out there tomorrow night, and we'll catch you next week.
Particularly with your star mare, never mind the chaos on the way back.
Yeah, she's been disappointing, I think, to be brutally honest. She's been disappointing since what we saw as a 3-year-old.
Was it the what the hell just happened?
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
She's been disappointing. It was good timing.
Who's it? Someone's into her. I thought she got better when she turned 4.